Well, as I indicated earlier in the week, as I and the Deputy Prime Minister indicated, we obviously this week have been meeting with the Greens. We did that yesterday, meeting with the Independents, and I'll have something to say about discussions with Mr Tony Crook and with Mr Andrew Wilkie. As we indicated a little earlier in the week, it's not our intention to conduct these negotiations via the media. However, we did say we would inform the Australian people of what we could when we could. So in that spirit, I did, with Wayne Swan today, want to confirm that we have had a productive, constructive discussion with Mr Oakeshott, Mr Windsor and Mr Katter. As I think is transparent to people from their press conference earlier today, they presented me earlier today with a letter raising 7 items. I have responded to that letter by providing them with a response in our meeting today in writing. I have responded positively to each of the 7 items. It's my understanding that Mr Oakeshott, Mr Windsor and Mr Katter will release their letter publicly following their discussions with Mr Abbott. When they have done so, then I will publicly release my response as well. So I regret I'm not in a position to do that now, but that's a function of the logistics. What is, I think, clear publicly from the media statements made earlier today by the Independents, one of the items on that letter that they have divulged publicly is their request to have access to costings information, the costings of the government's election policies, the costings of the opposition's election policies, and what those costings mean for the budget bottom line, as well as economic information about the outlook for the Australian economy. I can confirm that having received their letter earlier today, and that being one of the items on it, that I have requested from the Secretary of Prime Minister and Cabinet some advice about that matter. When that advice is received by me, I will of course release a copy of it to the Independents. I will send a copy of it to Mr Abbott and I will release a copy of it publicly. What is clear at this preliminary stage is that what is sought by the Independents goes beyond the normal rules of the caretaker conventions. Consequently, I anticipate that when detailed written advice is provided to me, it will go to the fact that in order to facilitate the request of the Independents that some changes need to be made to the usual understanding of the caretaker conventions. Of course, I will consider that written advice when I get it. My predisposition is to amend the conventions as necessary to facilitate the request of the Independents. In making those amendments, obviously, I would consult with Mr Abbott. I would seek his agreement and I would say to Mr Abbott that he should, once he's finished his discussions with the Independents today, should indicate as well a positive predisposition to doing what is necessary to facilitate their requests. Can I say, in respect to Mr Tony Crook, newly elected member to the House of Representatives in Western Australia, I have spoken by phone with him today. Mr Crook has indicated to me he does not consider himself to be a member of the Truss Nationals, his terminology, not mine, and in those circumstances he considers himself to be a person on the crossbenches. As is publicly known, Mr Crook and I have a very different view about the minerals resource rent tax. Having said that, Mr Crook is very focused on infrastructure for the constituency he represents, services for the constituency he represents, and I have undertaken to him to provide him with some information in writing about what the government's policies and plans mean for his constituency, and I will do that. I've also today made arrangements to meet with Mr Andrew Wilkie, who appears likely to be the incoming member for Denison. Whilst the matter is not resolved, that does appear the more likely result at this time. I have made arrangements with Mr Andrew Wilkie to meet with him in Melbourne for a discussion.